What if Naruto had a system like solo leveling, one that slowly levels him up and makes him incredibly powerful over time? So this is going to be part 1 of the video. Make sure to watch till the end, and let's hit 1k likes for part 2 so I know you're enjoying it. On a silent night in the village of Konoha, Naruto Uzumaki sat alone in his small room, tears of frustration in his eyes. Once again, he had failed the Ninja Academy graduation test miserably. He had always dreamed of becoming the greatest Hokage, but he had no exceptional talent in ninjutsu or chakra. Raw control. To the villagers, he was nothing more than a nuisance, a monster. Then suddenly, a strange blue light flashed brightly in front of him. What is this weird thing? He thought nervously. A floating blue screen appeared in midair, like a glowing high-tech game interface. On that transparent screen, glowing white letters clearly read, "You have met all the necessary conditions of the secret courage quest. The player system is now activating." Naruto was terrified at first and rubbed his eyes, but the screen didn't disappear. Then a cold, mechanical voice echoed directly in his mind, "Welcome, player. You have been chosen." In that quiet night, Naruto had no idea that this moment would change his fate, and the fate of the entire shinobi world, forever. This wasn't some cheap genjutsu, but an infinite power that would allow him to surpass every limit. The next morning, when Naruto woke up, the blue screen was still floating in front of him. This time, it displayed a daily quest, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10 kilometers run. At first, he thought about ignoring it because he was exhausted, but the system immediately flashed a red warning. If he failed to complete the task, he would be sent to a penalty zone, where he would have to run from dangerous monsters. Seeing this, Naruto panicked and instantly began his training. At first, it felt deadly, his breath grew heavy, and his muscles screamed in pain, but he didn't give up and kept pushing forward. When he completed the final push-up, the screen flashed, "Quest complete," and suddenly, a strange new energy surged through his exhausted body. The system rewarded him with status recovery and stat points, which he immediately invested into strength and agility. During all this, the 9 tails sealed inside him, Kurama, also sensed this unfamiliar energy. Stirring slightly from its deep slumber, it began observing this mysterious power with suspicion. Naruto was slowly starting to understand that just through hard work, without hand signs, he could continuously level up. The next morning, when Naruto arrived at the Ninja Academy, his way of walking and the confidence on his face were completely different. As usual, Oyee Sensei called all the students to the field for basic taijutsu sparring, and this time Naruto was matched against Kiba Inuzuka and his dog, Orochimaru. Kiba assumed it would be an easy win like always, but the moment he launched a full-force attack, a new blue prompt flashed before Naruto's eyes, "Enemy attack detected." Agility stats applied. Then, with lightning speed, Naruto dodged Kiba's powerful punch and delivered a quick counterattack, knocking him to the ground in an instant. Everyone watching, including Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno, was completely stunned, because Naruto had never been this fast or precise before. Standing quietly in the background, Hinata Hyuga's eyes sparkled with a new light, and she smiled softly, thinking that Naruto-kun looked truly strong. However, not far from the academy grounds, the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, was observing the children carefully from a window. As he smoked his pipe, he fell into deep thought, wondering how this once failing boy had suddenly gained such chakra control and physical power overnight. After several days of continuous system training, when Team 7 was finally formed at the academy, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were placed under the supervision of Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi was a highly experienced and dangerous jonin, and from their very first meeting, his sharp instincts sensed that Naruto's energy flow was unusual, filled with some unknown power. One day, after the bell test, when the team was resting from exhaustion, Naruto noticed a strange glowing key in his system inventory labeled, E-rank instant dungeon key. According to the system's rules, he could use this key on any ordinary door to enter a separate dimension, where defeating dangerous monsters would grant him massive experience points. Naruto waited until everyone was asleep, and at midnight, he used the key on the door of his house. The moment it opened, a strange blue vortex appeared before him, and as he stepped inside, he found himself in a terrifying, dark cave with an atmosphere as cold as death itself. Inside were bizarre wolves with long fangs, but instead of fear, Naruto felt excitement, because the screen in front of I am red. Defeat the dungeon beasts to level up. Kurama, watching all of this from within him, was now fully awake, grinding his teeth as he tried to understand the true nature of this mysterious and unknown system. As Naruto stepped deeper into the dark cave, 3 terrifying wolves suddenly lunged at him. Their red eyes glowed in the darkness, and blood dripped from their fangs. Naruto quickly pulled out his kunai, but the beasts were incredibly fast. One of them slashed his shoulder, leaving a deep wound. Naruto staggered back in pain, but he didn't give up. He immediately opened his system interface, where his agility stats were displayed. Then, focusing all his strength into his legs, he leapt forward. Spinning midair, he struck with precision, his kunai slicing across one wolf's neck, dropping it instantly. A blue screen flashed. You have defeated a steel-fanged wolf. Level up. The moment he leveled up, his wounds healed instantly, and all his exhaustion vanished. He looked at the remaining 2 wolves, now hesitating in fear. Using his newfound power, he eliminated them in moments. With every victory, his strength continued to grow, but he knew this was only a small part of the dungeon. From within his cage, Kurama watched everything silently, genuinely surprised by this strange healing and power-up ability. This wasn't ordinary chakra at all. At the final section of the dungeon, Naruto faced a massive boss wolf, as large as a small mountain. Its roar shook the entire cave, but Naruto no longer felt fear. He continuously used his increased strength and speed, and after an intense battle, he delivered one final powerful kick, defeating the monster. Then, a golden message flashed on the screen. Title earned: Wolf Slayer. Rewards: Dagger of the Night and 500 gold. As soon as the boss died, the dungeon began to collapse, and Naruto was transported back to his room, where the morning light was spreading. He took a deep breath, but there was a strange confidence in his eyes now. The next day, during a joint training session where all the genin teams had gathered, including Team 10 led by Shikamaru and Team Guy led by Neji, Naruto stood out immediately. Shikamaru, usually lazy and uninterested, carefully observed Naruto's sharp movements and wondered how someone like him had suddenly become so fast. Meanwhile, Neji activated his Byakugan to examine Naruto, but he was shocked. Around Naruto's chakra network, a strange dark blue energy was flowing, something completely different from normal chakra. Naruto simply smiled quietly, because his real game had only just begun. Team 7 soon received their first real mission, to travel to the Land of Waves. The group moved along a quiet road, with Sasuke carrying his usual overconfident attitude. Meanwhile, Naruto walked silently, checking his transparent system interface. Suddenly, 2 dangerous Chunin-level assassins attacked them from the shadows. Kakashi deliberately stepped back, wanting to test his 3 students at once. Sakura screamed in fear, and Sasuke quickly pulled out his kunai, but Naruto had already stepped forward. The system instantly generated a new, emergency quest: protect your comrades or face penalty. Quote. Then, Naruto fully utilized his enhanced agility. In the blink of an eye, he appeared right behind one of the assassins. From his magical inventory, he summoned the Dagger of the Night, and struck with perfect precision, dropping the enemy instantly. Seeing this sudden counterattack, Sasuke burned with frustration, his eyes couldn't even track Naruto's terrifying speed. The second assassin, now terrified, tried to run away, but Naruto leapt into the air and delivered a powerful flying kick, knocking him unconscious on the spot. As both enemies were defeated, a blue screen appeared once again. Quest completed. Rewards: 1000 EXP and a mysterious locked skill. Naruto realized that this mysterious system was gradually granting him his true, and dangerous, power. Not far away, perched on a dense tree branch, the legendary Sannin, Jiraiya, watched everything in silence. He had heard reports from the third Hokage about Naruto's sudden changes, and now he was witnessing this strange power himself. Jiraiya fell into deep thought, realizing that Naruto wasn't using ordinary taijutsu or ninjutsu. Inside Naruto, Kurama grew increasingly irritated upon sensing the new, locked skill, as the mighty-tailed beast began to feel its own importance being threatened. Then, Naruto calmly dismissed his dagger back into his inventory. Watching it disappear into thin air, Sakura was left completely stunned. As the journey continued, Team 7 finally entered the dense mist of the Land of Waves. The atmosphere was eerily silent and tense. Suddenly, a massive sword spun through the air and flew straight toward Kakashi. Reacting instantly, Kakashi told everyone to duck, and the blade embedded itself into a nearby tree. Standing atop that sword was Zabuza Momochi, the infamous missing nin from the Hidden Mist village. In a flash, Zabuza trapped Kakashi inside his water prison technique. Even in this terrifying situation, Naruto stood completely calm. Sasuke trembled slightly, and Sakura's eyes filled with fear. Then, a red system screen flashed before Naruto. Boss battle initiated. Defeat the demon of the mist. Without wasting a second, Naruto activated his speed and strength stats and charged straight at Zabuza's water clone. Zabuza initially dismissed him as just a foolish kid, but Naruto's punch was so powerful that the clone shattered into water instantly. From within the prison, Kakashi watched in shock, wondering how this once failing boy had suddenly gained such overwhelming brute force. Inside Naruto, Kurama let out a dark chuckle, beginning to sense the true and dangerous nature of this system. Naruto signaled Sasuke, and this time the two executed a brilliant combo attack, showing Sasuke's growth as well. Sasuke launched his shuriken, but in reality, it was Naruto's transformed shadow clone, planned perfectly using his enhanced agility. As Zabuza moved to dodge the incoming attack, Naruto appeared right behind him and struck with the dagger of the night. This distraction was enough. Kakashi broke free from the water prison and immediately launched his Chidori at Zabuza. Severely injured, Zabuza collapsed to the ground. Just then, Haku arrived, trying to save him, but in the chaos of the battle, Haku lost his life. Zabuza, filled with grief, shed tears as he took his final breaths. As Zabuza died, a golden prompt appeared before Naruto. Quest cleared. At that very moment, the mysterious locked skill was finally unlocked. Skill unlocked. Shadow extraction. Command. Arise. Without fully understanding it, Naruto looked at Zabuza's body and softly said, "Arise." Suddenly, a dark smoke rose from Zabuza's corpse, forming into a shadow figure, his eyes glowing an eerie blue. A shadow version of Zabuza stood before Naruto. Hidden far away, a snake-like eye belonging to Orochimaru silently witnessed everything. And soon, even Itachi of the Akatsuki received word of this strange, dark chakra that had begun to emerge. Seeing Zabuza's dark and terrifying shadow kneeling before Naruto, everyone present froze like stone. Kakashi immediately activated his Sharingan and carefully scanned the strange entity, but he couldn't sense any normal chakra, only a chilling aura of death that brought sweat to his forehead. Sakura, completely terrified, hid behind a tree, while Sasuke felt as if his mind had been shaken to its core. He couldn't understand how the Academy's biggest failure had suddenly become someone capable of raising the dead like a necromancer. Then, Naruto glanced at his floating blue system screen, where glowing text appeared, Shadow Infantry LV. 1 saved. Calmly, he summoned the massive shadow back into his own shadow. Even Kurama, inside his cage, stood upright in shock, but this time, there was no anger in his red eyes, only an infamy. Liar fear. When Team 7 returned to Konoha after completing their mission, Kakashi wasted no time reporting everything in secret to the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi. Inside the room, Lady Tsunade was also present, having returned to the village. Hearing the report, she slammed her fist on the table in disbelief, unable to accept that such a dark power had entered the village. Meanwhile, preparations for the Chunin exams had begun in full force, and many dangerous ninjas from different hidden villages started gathering in Konoha. Orochimaru, who had already witnessed Zabuza's shadow and Naruto's strange transformation through his hidden snakes, was now more interested in Naruto's unknown power than Sasuke's Sharingan. Far away, in a dark cave, members of the Akatsuki, especially Itachi Uchiha and Kisame, were also discussing this mysterious dark energy. However, they still had no idea about the true nature of this magical system. One day, just before the Chunin exams, all the rookie genin were training together in the forest. Shikamaru and Neji's teams also arrived there. Neji, filled with pride, activated his Byakugan again, trying to find Naruto's weakness, but what he saw this time shook him to his core. Beyond Kurama's chakra sealed inside Naruto, there was a massive, terrifying ocean of dark shadows swirling around him. Neji stumbled back in fear, and everyone present was left stunned. Then, Naruto gave a slight smile, because a new and dangerous, job change quest, had just appeared on his blue system screen. From a distance, hiding quietly behind a tree, Hinata watched him. Seeing Naruto's new, confident form only made her fall for him even more. In the dark and terrifying atmosphere of the Forest of Death, the second phase of the Chunin exams had begun, and Team 7 moved forward with extreme caution. Suddenly, a powerful gust of wind swept through, and Orochimaru attacked them in the form of a Visala snake. Sasuke froze in fear, completely unable to move, but Naruto stood there, perfectly calm. Orochimaru aimed to place his cursed mark on Sasuke's neck, but at that very moment, Naruto decided to begin the first task of his job change quest. In an instant, Naruto summoned the dagger of the night from his inventory and called forth the dark shadow of Zabuza from within his own shadow. Witnessing this horrifying sight, Orochimaru's snake-like eyes widened in shock, because controlling the dead without any sacrifice was far more advanced than even his Edo Tensei technique. With a single overwhelming strike, Zabuza's massive shadow sliced the giant snake into two pieces. Far away, in the hidden rain village, standing amidst heavy rainfall, the Akatsuki leader Pain and Konan also sends this unknown surge of dark chakra. Pain immediately realized that a new power had emerged in Konoha, one that could potentially rival even his godlike Rinnegan. Terrified, Orochimaru stepped back. For the first time in his long life, he felt the true fear of death. Without taking any further risks, he dissolved into smoke and vanished from the battlefield. The moment he fled, a massive golden flash appeared on Naruto's system screen, and the system announced, "Job change quest completed. Your new class is Shadow Monarch." Reading this, a cold blue glow appeared in Naruto's eyes, but this time, the aura around him became so heavy and overwhelming that Sasuke and Sakura instinctively fell to their knees before him. Watching everything through the crystal ball, the third Hokage and Kakashi were drenched in sweat from fear. Inside Naruto, Kurama finally abandoned his pride and resistance. Instead, he silently decided to coexist with this new shadow power. Even Shikamaru and Neji's teams no longer saw Naruto as a failure, but as something far beyond human, almost like an unknown god. And with that, Naruto took his first major step into the ninja world as the Shadow Monarch, a being now powerful enough to draw the attention of the entire Akatsuki. This was only the beginning, just a small glimpse of the massive and terrifying storm that was yet to come.